Hello everyone, welcome you all in this video tutorial. So in this video lecture, we are going to discuss about mitochondrial diseases. So let's start with some introductory part about mitochondrial diseases. So the mitochondrial disorders are various genetic disorders that are characterized by defects in oxidative phosphorylation, because we know that the process of oxidative phosphorylation takes place in the mitochondria. So these genetic disorders are mainly result of genetic mutations, or we can say that the genetic mutations or inheritance cause the mitochondrial disorders, which causes different types of mitochondrial diseases. These mutations occur in the genes of nuclear DNA or either in mitochondrial DNA, encodes for proteins which are involved in the mitochondrial functions, and due to the mutation they can't function properly, and this causes different types of diseases and symptoms in the patient. So now at first let's understand about the mitochondria and its structure. So basically mitochondria is a double membrane cellular organelle which is found in eukaryotic cells. It is lack in prokaryotes, and mitochondria is also known as powerhouse of the cell because it is engaged in the process of ATP synthesis, and it synthesizes the ATP molecules which are termed as ATP currency or energy currency for our body. Mitochondria have its own DNA which is called as mitochondrial DNA, and mitochondrial DNA always inherits from the mother into her child. So the process of cellular respiration or glucose metabolism completes in mitochondria, and also the process of ATP synthesis takes place in the matrix of mitochondria with the help of enzyme ATP synthase. Now this is the diagram of mitochondria. Here we can see the inner structure of mitochondria consisting of outer mitochondrial membrane, inner mitochondrial membrane, the transmembrane space between two mitochondrial membranes, and the mitochondrial DNA which is present in the matrix of mitochondria and the cristae. Now let's understand about the mitochondrial diseases. So basically it is a group of conditions which affect the mitochondrial functions, and it is caused due to the mutations and due to the inheritance. These diseases mainly affect any organ or system of the body, but most of the time it affects brains, muscles, heart, liver, nerves, eyes, ears and kidney. So these organs are the most commonly affected organs by the mitochondrial disorders. Now let's understand the causes of mitochondrial diseases and why these disorders takes place. So these diseases can be caused by mutations in either nuclear DNA or mitochondrial DNA. The mutations lead to the dysfunction of the mitochondria, and by this process it causes many diseases which are called as mitochondrial diseases. So the process when the mitochondria is not working properly, the body does not get enough energy to carry out all normal functions, which lead to variety of health problems, because as we have discussed, mitochondria have the enzyme ATP synthase which synthesizes ATP, and we need energy to carry out all the normal functions of our cell and as well as of our body, and this need ATP. So when our mitochondria is not working properly, it didn't produce enough ATP and it leads to the health problems. Now these problems are called mitochondrial genetic disorders or mitochondrial diseases, because most of the times the mitochondrial diseases are inherited from the parents, but sometimes they are also get mutated or also caused by the mutations of nuclear DNA or mitochondrial DNA in the patient itself, or they are not inherited. So let's discuss about the symptoms of mitochondrial disorders or mitochondrial diseases. So basically all the symptoms of mitochondrial diseases depends on which cells of the body are affected, and the patients or the symptoms can range from mild to severe, which involve one or more organs which are affected. But there are some common signs or common symptoms of mitochondrial diseases, which include poor growth due to lack of energy and muscle weakness, muscle pain, vision and hearing related problems, the learning disabilities, and delay in development and mental retardation. So the patients who are suffering from mitochondrial diseases have also seen loss of muscle coordination, heart, liver and kidney related diseases, and many patients have also found diabetic and have gastrointestinal disorders. So now let's understand about the inheritance of this disease, or how the disease inherited from the parents into its child. So there are the several inheritance types for this genetic disorder, which are autosomal recessive inheritance, autosomal dominance inheritance, mitochondrial inheritance, or random mutations. So in the case of autosomal recessive inheritance, the recessive allele contains the inheritance for this disease or the gene for this disease. So in this case, there are 25 chances that each child is in the family will inherit a disease. But in the case of autosomal dominant inheritance, the dominant character or the dominant allele contain the gene for this disorder, and in this condition there are 50% chances that each child in the family will inherit a mitochondrial disease. And the third type is mitochondrial inheritance. We know that mitochondria is inherited from only mother to its child. So in this condition or in this situation, there are 100% chances that the disease is inherited from its mother to its child. And this is the way a mitochondrial disease was inherited 100%. The fourth type is random mutations, by which the gene develop a mutation of their own and there is not any disease inherited from its parents. So these are some inheritance patterns by which these genetic disorders caused in a patient. Now let's understand the process of diagnosis for mitochondrial diseases. So basically the diagnosis of mitochondrial disease is quite difficult and there is no specific laboratory or a specific diagnostic test which can diagnose these diseases specifically or properly. But the diagnosis may include the patient's family history so that assumptions can be made that there are any chances of mitochondrial disorders or not. A complete physical examination can be done to check the symptoms of mitochondrial diseases and neurological examinations. There are some Southern blotting techniques and polymerase chain reaction is done to find the mutations in the DNA of the patient. So now let's understand about the treatment of mitochondrial diseases. So now there is not any complete cure for this disease, and in the most of the cases this disease is carried out by the parent into its child and it is considered as an inherited or genetic disease. So it is not any complete cure or treatment for this disorder, but there are many treatments which can be done for the symptoms caused by mitochondrial disease. So these treatments include vitamins and supplements which helps to get energy, and the physical exercises like walking and many other exercises. The patients of mitochondrial disease are try to conserve energy because they don't have enough energy and their mitochondria don't have enough ATP production, so they are considered to conserve the energy. And there are different therapies which may include the treatment of mitochondrial diseases. So in this video, we have discussed about the mitochondrial diseases, structure of mitochondria, the causes of diseases, diagnosis and treatment of mitochondrial disorders. Thank you.